Hello to you, Mark. Welcome to News Breakfast.
Morning, Lisa.
When will people start seeing prices increasing?
Well, I suppose the very first thing to understand is the excise affects the wholesale price. So that will affect fuel that is delivered into the service station network after midnight tonight. We're expecting that it will take 5 to 7 days before the excise is fully factored into the prices at service stations. And so typically you should not see a massive spike in the next 24 to 48 hours. What will actually happen is that price will actually interact with the retail pricing strategies of each of the businesses across the network.
Yeah, I was reflecting on the fact that back in March it took almost a week for the savings to start coming through to people. So is there any reason, any excuse why petrol stations would be jacking up their prices after midnight tonight?
No, because as we said, it affects the wholesale price, Lisa, and effectively we've already been through this because of the transition we saw after the excise cut in March. So the ACCC's got a lot of data about how our industry responded to the cut. And what we know is that after the first 2 weeks, 90% of the service stations had passed on at the full cut. And then at the end of the 6-week period, the lower volume sites in regional and rural areas had actually passed it on in full. So they're expecting to see the same shape occur as the excise is fully restored. And that gives some comfort to motorists, because what we're seeing in capital cities is the fuel price cycle is at the top of the cycle. We're starting to see the discounting. And so effectively the excise is going to come on progressively as retailers replace their fuel stocks, while we're starting to see the wholesale price come down as part of the normal capital city fuel price cycle.
So have service stations been trying to get in more stock ahead of this day?
Yeah, we also represent the fuel transporters, Lisa, and there's been this mad rush as the fuel transport companies have been petitioned by the fuel retailers to get a last-minute delivery in. So there's been a lot of congestion at what we call the gantry, that is the loading point, where the fuel is actually put in the tankers and taken out to service stations. So if you're a shrewd operator, what you're doing at the moment is to try and get as much of that low excise fuel in your tanks before midnight tonight, so you maximise your position to be able to compete in price over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
So what's going to be determining prices between the different petrol stations, and, you know, does it come down to locations? I know that regional areas, they see the prices change at a very different pace to city.
Yeah, that's spot on, Lisa. So what we see in regional areas, we don't get the capital city price cycle. You know, this price rise then followed by 3 to 4 weeks of a price fall at about 2 cents a litre per day. In regional areas, we've got prices sitting at the moment around $1.75 to $1.80. I expect to see that we will see the full fuel excise be factored through as they replace their stock. So you're talking about a price that might sit around the $2 mark. In capital city areas, we've actually got an average in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide. We're effectively sitting around $1.90, but we're starting to see the price discount cycle apply. So it'll be a mix between the movement downward over the next 5 to 7 days, and then the movement upward as the excise is factored into more and more of the volume that the service stations have in their sites. So really what it's saying to everybody is we're looking at a situation now where there's going to be a significant period of variability. This is the time to be using your fuel price apps. But I'm not expecting to see 25 cents a litre added in capital cities to the current average we're seeing at the moment of $1.92, because the discount cycle is going to lower that price before all the low excise fuel is passed through the system.
Well, that's good news to end this chat on. Mark McKenzie, thanks for joining us this morning.
Pleasure, Lisa.